talking financial matters here, right?
Yeah.
Financial matters. Now the thing is, I mean, I am getting some emails in for the viewer emails for you, but they're all these fucking weirdos. They are so weirdos that like they're asking questions of, should you. What do you think? I get out of hedged bonds and go into gold. You know that.
Oh, I can tell them. No problem with those type of questions. Deliver them.
Okay, I'll bring them out. Okay. Well, today's question is I want to ask you about what's your opinion of lending money from parents. What? Lending money from parents. Borrowing money from parents. Yes.
Well,
from both perspectives. There, because it's fraught with danger.
Well, let's look.
It's fraught with danger because the problem is that these kids there, they say, oh, lend me some money, help me, right? It's the age of entitlement where they think they're entitled to all this stuff. Help me. And then when the shit hits the fan, you need your money back. Oh, you don't understand. Things haven't gone too well. I've lost my job. We had another kid. It was an accident and this has gone wrong.
And you've got enough anyway, so what's the point?
That's right.
Well, that's the two aspects. So from a child's point of view, it's not bad because one...
Free money is free money. Or zero interest money is...
Yeah, normally it's free money, but even if you pay a rate of interest, it's a lower rate of interest in the bank. The bank might be charging 6%, and the parents say, well, give me 2 or give me nothing. Most parents will say, look, don't give me anything. Or they might say, look, if I put the money in the bank, I get 2% at the moment, so you give me 2%.
Sure.
Whilst the bank would lend it out to 4%.
Sure, of course.
So double the rate. So for the child's point of view, it's not bad.
But we're looking more moralistic. We're talking to you because you worked as an accountant in your life. Have you seen this working well? Has lending money to your kids, have you got successful stories and bad stories?
Yeah, I have a lot of stories, yeah. So from the child's point of view, first of all, it's a good prospect because it's cheap money. And if they fall behind in payments, the parents aren't going to kick them out of the house or take legal action. In most cases, they can't even take legal action. They haven't got a contract. They haven't got any. It's just a gentleman's agreement sort of contract. From the parents' point of view, it's a real problem because if they haven't got too much money, when they apply for the Australian pension, which is means tested and asset tested, the government pretends or deems that you are getting. It's an asset, and they deem an interest rate to that. So it does affect what you get as a pension. And then, of course, in your old age, as you rightly pointed out before, if you give away a large amount of money, and I'll mention a case in a minute, and then you can't get it back, or you're in the poo because the government said, well, you've got $500,000. I had this Chinese guy, and he was a very close family, I suppose, and he lent his son-in-law and his daughter $500,000. He sold the house and gave it to them. And the idea was that in 3 or 4 years' time, they would then be stronger. He'd improve his job prospects, and he would get that loan taken over by a bank.
He'd get his money back.
He'd get his money back, and that would then be his retirement money. What happened is obviously the wife had another child. The guy, his income earning capacity was not very good, so he couldn't get a job or lost his job and unemployed. He can't pay it back, and said, sorry, I can't pay you back. It doesn't really want to pay it back, or we've got no real incentive to pay it back. And so the parents, they can't get the pension from the government because they've got all this money, but they can't get this money. So they are in a very horrible situation.
So what happened then?
Well, they had 100,000 left, and they're living off that. But they don't get the pension because the amount of money they gave, and it's a bit more than that, it makes it they're not eligible for any pension.
And what did the kids do with the money?
Oh, they bought a house.
Can't they sell the house?
Well, then they got nowhere to go.
But that's not his problem.
Well, it's not. Well, yeah, but you can't enforce that. There's no mortgage. There's nothing.
No, but if you let's just back this truck up.
Yeah.
If there's no dispute whether he lent the money or didn't. Are the kids going to say, we never got anything from you? They're not disputing that, right?
Well, they might say, look, you really gave it to us. Pay back when able. We're not able.
Okay.
You pay back when able. We'll pay
Okay.
back to you in
Okay.
20 years' time. But we're not able at the moment.
Sure.
That's what you said. We're a family. We're a loving family. Pay back if and when able. We call it Australia. If and when able, basically.
So
if able, they're not
okay.
able. If not, when able, we're
well,
not able.
maybe he can. Has he got a house to live in? He does have a house.
Who, the gentleman himself?
Yeah.
It's paid off too.
He's
Yeah, he's got a house to live in. Yeah.
He's got a house. Okay, so he doesn't. He's not, because they can always move in with them, can't they?
Oh, yeah. A good case like that too.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying to you. You understand?
Well, they could, but they don't want to.
But what I'm saying is that normally, see what the answer to your thing is that normally I know some Chinese people who get given huge amounts of money from their parents to buy a prestige car because they've got to be winners, and they buy a house. The parents are very, they honestly would always give that money back.
Yeah, well, in this situation,
The social pressure on them, the parents control them as well. I know of cases where the parents control them by that money. The parents are very quick to say, "You're not doing what we want. Well, give me my fucking money back."
yeah,
They're very quick to say that too.
Yeah,
It's a
they can
sense of
say.
control. You know what I mean?
But then the question is, how do you get it back when they say I can't?
Well,
and in this case, I suppose the son-in-law and the daughter said, "Well, listen, Dad, you sell your house, and you can live off that, and come live in the back room in our house." And well, is that what you want to do? I had a situation where this gentleman, he sponsored a relative, his father from Vietnam.
I see. He sponsored his father from Vietnam. Okay.
And guaranteed that he would look after him if appropriate.
Sure. Okay.
So the father came to Australia and said, "Listen, I'm the father, you're the son. Transfer all your assets to me." The culture, see, and he said, "Oh no, I can't do that." And the father said, "Look, well, I've got this. I'm staying at your place in a blinking room. I want some money. You've got to give me some money.
Yes.
You've got to, and I need a house. I'm the father. I can't live.
Yeah.
You've got a nice house." So the son, well, he didn't have the means to do that.
So what happened then?
So the father went out, rented a house.
Yeah.
Through the Housing Commission, the government authority, and went to
son had to pay
Centrelink.
it.
No, I went to Centrelink and got $15,000 a year as a pension.
Yeah.
Well, as a support
Yeah.
pension, because he's not eligible for the pension. So that was all right. So 5 or 6 years later, Centrelink sent a letter to the son saying, "Dear son, your father has now been receiving 6 years of support from us, so you owe us $80,000.
Yes.
And then there's interest attached to that. Now, how would you like to pay it? Would you like to pay in one lump sum, or you want to pay it off?
Installments.
So
Yes.
the son went to the father and said, "Listen, father, look, I've got this problem that I've given you, the government's giving you this money.
Yes.
I can't pay it back. So what I suggest as step one is you come back to my house, live with me,
Yes.
and we'll slowly pay the government the money back."
Yes.
And the father said, "You're a bad son. The
Yeah.
government helps me and you can't help me. What type of son are you? Piss off," sort of thing.
Yes.
Go away. And well, that's where I left it. So they had a real dilemma. The son had to pay back the money,
But his father's still incurring more debt.
and the father's still incurring more debt.
Fuck.
So, and that's a father. That's even like you think your father wouldn't do that to you, and
But I understand what you're saying, but this is the problem. Is that you can get you have exposed your vulnerability. You've said, "Oh, look, we'll let the come in," and then what happens is you because you've been vulnerable. If ever you have vulnerability exposed like that, you can be liable for it. You've taken a chance, and it's a fucking joke.
See, in some cultures, the father adopts he's supposed to have all the assets, and then he looks after the whole tribe. And this, whom I'm talking about is the godfather of somebody, Liz. His parents came from Vietnam again, and they said, "All right, look, yes, you've got a house, you've got a business now. All right, well, I'm the father, and this is your mother, and we want you to transfer all this to us and we'll look after you."
Yeah.
And the wife said, well, hey, I've been working my guts out at this mattress factory. I've been working very hard. I can't, I'm not going to transfer everything to her, to the parents, and have nothing.
Yeah.
And it almost caused a divorce, almost. But they obviously resolved it. The parents were a little bit understanding. The mother got ill and died, same time as Erica died, within weeks from cancer. And the father sort of backed down, backed away from it and accepted the position where he was in, and he had other kids helping him, and they all sort of said, well, you can't do that to number one son. And so number one son was in a position where he was saved from that, but a bit more pressure, and that he could have broken up his marriage and everything, because the parents in their culture, the parents control and look after everybody, and it's your job to give it to them.
I understand. Well, I suppose in Vietnam it's okay because the parents would have inherited the asset in the first place, and then they pass it on. But when a son's come to another country which is much more prosperous than this communist fuckhole.
I remember many years ago, a guy called Archie went to a wedding, and at the wedding the gentleman got up there and said, and for my son I'm giving $30,000 to buy a house. And Archie went, Archie said,
I never heard this story.
Archie said, look at Dad, this is unreal. This guy, is giving his son $30,000, and what are you going to give me? And I said to him, Archie, I'd give, if that son who's now 35, every penny he's earned he gave to Dad under their culture, every penny. I said, if you give me every penny you earn till 35, I won't give you 30,000, I give you 100,000.